What really impressed me was all the conversations about putting together delegations and sort of developing lines of trade with Africa. I really fell in love with that part of the conversation, even more than all the other great things that happened. I remember the sister that's the head of the African delegation.
I know who you're talking about. James Kisby, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, she gave a great speech, and I mean, it brought me to tears. It was like she's saying, come home. We want you to, if you're in the diaspora, come home to Africa, come home to Africa. And it affected me because it was like one of those few times where I realized, wait a minute, I don't really have a home. Like I don't feel connected to anything, but I feel connected to this. This is great. Can you kind of speak to that in terms of, the thinking with yourself and others, on the board, about sort of developing those channels in relationships in Africa? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so for those that are watching and listening, Dr. George C. Fraser is the founder of FraserNet. It bears his name. The Power Networking Conference is the flagship event for the organization. And then there's also the newly established Fraser Nation, which is this global nation that's really around wealth building. And part of that conversation, to your point, Dr. Watkins, has been looking at the global Pan-African economic ecosystem that exists between the US and Africa, but also other parts of the globe. And how do we begin to reconnect, not just socially or politically, but how do we reconnect economically? And so it's and also ideologically and culturally. So it's a combination of how do we reconnect to the motherland from an identity, social, cultural perspective. But now in this global economy, how do we build bridges that can also help to foster economic opportunity between African Americans or Blacks in America and Africans on the continent? And we all agreed, and you agree, that this is one of the untapped opportunities that's sitting at our doorstep. And so the doorstep and the door is actually very apropos, because we are at the door of having all these opportunities and the technology and the systems to be able to transact. The only thing missing is now getting back to where we were a moment ago, is the relationships, is forging relationships between those of us that are here in the US and those that are in Africa who were represented at the conference, so that we can begin doing business together.
By the way, everybody, if you just came in, I'm speaking with Dr. Randall Pinkett. Dr. Pinkett is the CEO and founder of BCT Partners. He also is the author of the book Black Faces in White Places. He has a PhD PhD in computer science. I was gonna say economics. So actually, the other Dr. Julian Malveaux has a PhD in economics from MIT. He has a PhD in computer science from MIT, and he's a brilliant brother. He's also chairman of the board with FraserNet. You guys have seen George C. Fraser come on about once a month on the channel to talk to you guys about networking and all the other wonderful things you can do with your lives. Do me a favor right now, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you have not done this yet, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live. It's very important that you hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that bell and you'll be notified every time we go live. And please hit the thumbs up button. If you're on Facebook, please share this to your page. And I want to remind everybody that the All Black National Convention happens the weekend of September 27th. So if you want to learn more, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. And Dr. Pinkett is going to be invited to the next All Black National Convention. Just so you know, we'll invite you. But yeah, and it's at some point we'll get it on your schedule. If not that year, then that's fine. We can move it to next year. But I want you there, brother. I love to make sure you're welcome there. Okay, so let me ask you this. Your book, Black Faces in White Places. There you go. There, you guys can see the book right there. Tell me about your book. What inspired it, and what can I learn from reading the book? It looks like I see something. Is that bestseller at the top?
Oh, it says that's the subtitle: 10 game-changing strategies to achieve success and find greatness.
Okay, tell us about it.
Yeah, so Black Faces in White Places, I co-authored with my college roommate, my longtime friend, and my business partner, Dr. Jeffrey Robinson, professor at Rutgers Business School. And we went out and interviewed dozens of accomplished African Americans who reached the heights of their industry, CEOs, executive directors, principals of schools, journalists. So we interviewed Benjamin Jealous, NAACP, Roland Martin, then it was with CNN. Don Thompson was then president of McDonald's. Angela Glover Blackwell, who ran PolicyLink out in Oakland, California. Otis Moss Jr. The list goes on and on. Hill Harper, and tried to understand how did they make it to that level within their industry, but more importantly, how did they do it without losing a sense of who they are? How did they not give up anything of their cultural identity, of their ethnicity, of all the things that make them who they are in reaching the upper echelons of their field? And what could they offer to those of us who aspire to do the same so that when we make it to the top, we are able to stay true to who we are? And so the patterns that we heard in the interviews, the things we kept hearing over and over again through the interviews, gave rise to what we call the 10 game-changing strategies. That are these 10 cumulative strategies that build upon each other, that are a blueprint or a roadmap for how one can, for example, maintain or establish a strong identity and purpose, or demonstrate excellence, or build diverse and solid relationships, or find strength in numbers, or give back generously. And I'm running down some of the strategies right now. These are the things that we learned that we're passing on to the next generation, so that what we don't want is, we don't want people like you and me or our younger versions of ourselves to feel like in order to make it, you have to deny your Blackness, or you have to give up of your culture, or you have to be someone other than who you are. But no, quite the contrary. What we're arguing is hold on to all the things that make you you, because not only does that give you your own unique competitive advantage, but it also allows you to stay true to yourself, that when you make it, you can look in the mirror and be proud of who you